Abbott Elementary Season 3, Episode 9, Alex, and Season 3, Episode 10, 2 Ava 2 Fest are over. But what's up, fam? It's me, Chappell, back with another edition of Recap Kickback. The principal of this podcast, it's Gia Worthy. Gia, what's happening?
Oh my God, Chappell, I just got back from 2 Ava 2 Fest, and let me tell you, it was incredible. Little drama happening, but as to be expected. But I am so glad to finally be back. It feels like it's been forever since we got to record anything together, and what a perfect time to do this before I have to work again. It's just, they keep making me go back.
So ghetto, so ratchet.
Ghetto,
Like
very ghetto behavior. 0 stars. Do not recommend.
Yeah. So yeah, we're back. It's been a while. Abbott took a hiatus, meaning we took a hiatus, and since we record on every other week, this is the time. So hopefully you all have been kicking it with us on Recap Kickback. You've been checking out all the other content, but of course, if you were just here for the Abbott recaps, here we are. We're talking about Season 3, Episode 9 and 10. As we approach what will be the finale of Abbott Elementary in just a few episodes. So this podcast is coming out a little late. There are 2 more episodes that have already been released, and then another one on the way. I believe the season ultimately will end with 14 episodes as of May 22nd. So we got a little like the downside of Abbott. You know what I'm saying? We've already gone up the hill. Now it's going down toward the end of the season, and we're going to prep for what will be season 4. As we know, the show is already renewed and is to be announced at this time. So we got to wrap up what we have going on here. And so I'm looking right now. We're getting a ton of 5-star reviews, a ton of great comments. Thank you all for listening and joining us every week. But we got some stuff to break down here, Gia. So Abbott, to me, they found their stride a while back. Season 3 has been very rich, very wealthy, very shiny. It's been very fun, but we haven't gotten a lot of Janine with the primary Abbott crew. She's been in and out because we know she's taking a job at the district. And over the course of these 2 episodes, we will see what ultimately will end in Janine coming back to Abbott Elementary. Gia, were you surprised at all by this, or was it just a matter of time for you?
I was a little worried as we got closer to it, but I was still remaining hopeful that Janine would return back to Abbott. And spoiler alert for episode 10, 2 Ava 2 Fest, but she does ultimately decide to go back to Abbott. And, career move wise, was that the best decision? Probably not. But like for us watching a show, following the plot, it's the best when everybody is together. I think I like the district storyline, but I'm glad it is temporary. Like it gives us something a little different. We got to meet some new characters, but I think that the other storylines that we have seen that are more centered around the school, like the charter school versus public school ones for last semester, were a little more up my alley, kind of like what I prefer for this for like the storylines of these seasons. So I'm glad that we got a conclusion to it, and now we can move forward with some of these other characters.
Yeah, so we are going to say goodbye, I think, to some of the characters from the district. We know that Janine is leaving the district, so we probably won't see the district offices much. But this is a good time, I guess, to say goodbye to some of the people who we've come to know as the people at the district. We have Manny, who, for a second, Gia, we talked about this. It did feel like they were maybe pushing a love interest storyline for Manny. This leads me to believe that no, I think this is the end of Manny. Do you think we're going to see anybody from the district ever again, or is this the end of them altogether?
So I think that it's just, I mean, I know the answer to this because I saw the episode 11, but
right.
Yes. So spoilers, I guess, but I don't think that any character on Abbott is like just never going to be seen again. Like we've discussed this with like ups with like Gary and Zach, if we're gonna see them again, some of the other characters that we haven't seen in a while, and I think that it's just like we can never let characters what's the word, like we shouldn't discount any characters potentially returning, but I feel like some of the district characters were not super fleshed out. Like we didn't know too many, we didn't really get to know any of them. That receptionist that secretly hated Janine, I really hope we get them back.
Yes.
And yes. And I think it would be nice to see them here and there. It's always nice when we get a little throwback to some of these characters.
Yeah. So a lot of fun characters at the district. As y'all can probably tell, Gia has seen more episodes than I have at this point, so I don't really know. But I did enjoy them. Like you said, the receptionist at the front desk, amazing. Secretly hating Janine is so fun. But also Keegan Michael Key and in his role, and Manny and the crew, they're all fun, but they're all fun for the district, right? And what the district has going on, and that doesn't really align with what we're doing here on Abbott Elementary. So although Janine seemingly was promising in that role, she knew what she was doing. Over the course of these 2 episodes, she's going to get dragged back by the gravity of Abbott. She just can't stay away. And one of the main storylines from the first episode is that Alex Perkins, a student that Janine knows well, he was in Janine's class, but also in Gregory's class. He hasn't been coming to school. He has not been coming to school. They don't know what to do. They've called home. There's been all these attempts to make a connection, and they just can't figure out a way to do this within the bounds of the district. So Janine ultimately has to make a judgment call, and her and Gregory go to this kid's house in order to talk to his grandma to get him to come back to school. Come to find out, kids only not coming to school because Miss Teagues is not there, Gia, and that's bad for business. So this is the cutest thing ever.
This broke my heart that he was not coming to school because he missed his teacher. Like, oh my, it was so cute. It was adorable. It was really sad. I was worried. Were you worried when we kept seeing these like moments of him being like, he's not coming to school, there's all these unexcused absences, we don't know what's going on, and then they go to his house? I was terrified for like what? I'm like, what dark turn are we about to take on this show? Like, this is my happy show. This is my, I don't want to think about anything else. Let me watch my happy show. And so I was very glad that it was not something serious. But it could have turned into something serious because if he missed one more day, he had the risk of repeating the 2nd grade and calling a truancy officer for something, or like report him on a child. Yeah. That seems like a lot. Like, come on now. I get that that's policy, but it's dumb. And like, why do we do that? Anyway, that's different. But so it was, listen, again, they probably should not have gone over to the house, but we finally got some answers. And I found it interesting how they portrayed Alex's grandmother in this episode, because she was somebody that, back in her day, it wasn't a big deal if you missed school. They did not have these truancy laws. And, whether you went to school or not, it was not treated as big of a deal, at least in her family, as much as it was now, where kids have to go to school. Like, you are legally required to go to school. This kid is just chilling, watching The Price is Right, and, hanging with Drew Carey all day. Honestly, love that for him. That was my favorite way to spend my sick days.
Oh yeah. Except back in my day, before Drew Carey, I was a Bob Barker kid. When my grandma was watching Bob. Oh yeah, I was watching Bob.
I was a Bob Barker kid as well. It was Price is Right, but different host.
Yeah, for sure. Price is Right. I did a little supermarket sweep every now and then if I was really young, you know what I'm saying? Granny had her shows. So when you spending time with grandma, yeah, she's going to revert back to some of the things that she knows well, right? And she knows if this kid is miserable, why would I send him to the school? And there's a lot of sense being made right there. You don't, the child's mental health matters just as much as their education, and you have to address both those things. But neither one of them were being addressed at this point, because grandma just saying, all right, you don't got to go to school. That doesn't fix the problem that he's going to end up getting set back a grade. He's also going to miss out on a lot of important information. And you can't just not go to school. That's, like you said, legally required to do that. So Gregory is deep into this investigation until he finds out this kid lives across the street from the school, literally in walking distance of the school. And he's about to get basically held back a grade because he hasn't made the trip across the front yard, So Janine and Gregory break the rules. They go in there, and after talking to Granny, it's clear this kid just misses Miss Teagues. And so they go in, they have a conversation with him. Clearly, all of this is against the rules, but eventually they're able to pull him back in, and Alex goes back to the class. But this is when one of those huge moments where you can tell that Janine can feel, just Abbott just yanking her away from all the stuff that goes on at the district. Her heart's just not at the district the way Abbott is, Gia.
Janine and I have that in common. I'm so glad we don't have to do this again. Like, I'm glad. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the decision from a Abbott Elementary fan. However, I think that, like, and especially this season, I feel like because we haven't seen her in the classroom, and we saw a couple times where she was like in the classroom and didn't seem to really have a strong connection with some of her students. And I think it was nice for us to be reminded as viewers that Janine is not just a teacher, but she is a good teacher, and she is a teacher that leaves a positive impact on her students. And this is one of the, I don't want to say consequences, but because, this was always just something that was going to happen with this fellowship, but that's a result of her taking a job where she's losing out on valuable time to make those connections with students, but she still has left a positive impact on the students that she is teaching this year.
Yeah, and this means a lot for Gregory as well. He ends up basically making Alex an honorary member of his garden goofballs, so they can really help with staying on top of Alex's attendance. But it's just the weight of all of this, and Janine's departure is just it's heavy. You can see it's heavy on the kids. It's also heavy on someone like Gregory and some of the other employees as well. So it just, Abbott ain't Abbott without Janine Teagues. That's just what it comes down to.
It really isn't.
We needed her back. And by the end of the next episode, she very much is back. So she learns a lot of tricks at the district. And, hopefully she can bring that back to Abbott to help out, because she's going to need it. Because by the end of episode 10, Gia, she's back. But the district might have a tiny grudge against Abbott Elementary from now on, because she left them high and dry during her going away party. She's supposed to take a shot. She's supposed to sign the thing, take a photo, and really sign her life away in a blood oath to the district. But when she reads Barbara's going away letter and then sees that the kids all signed it, it was a no-brainer for her. Janine's coming back, and hopefully the district's not too salty about it moving forward.
Did anyone else think it was weird that they had a party right away and they're like, oh, we're going to take a celebratory shot while you sign all this paper? Was that not weird? That was weird, right? That was weird. It felt cultish. I'm sorry. Drinking with coworkers is a rite of passage. It comes organically. I can't just drink with any of my coworkers. It's got to be we have to build that rapport. Drinking time is valuable, precious time. It's not for everybody. I'm sorry. This is not just comes at the drop of a hat. I'm sorry. I take my drinking very seriously.
No, I'm with you on that one, because Janine did a lot at the district, but not enough to where she should be taking shots with these people. We don't know them yet. Because her library program is doing great. She's obviously on a 7-year plan of moving up the ranks. But she ain't been there long enough. They haven't been through what the people at Abbott have been through with Janine. And Janine is clearly still holding on to Abbott. She's even wearing her lanyard still that Ava makes sure Gregory collects from her. Because, we love Ava. We're very pro Ava here. We're pro Janine, but this is an Ava Stan podcast.
Exactly.
How do you think Ava feels now that Janine is coming back? Because she just collected her things.
I think she secretly wants
Janine
back.
It?
I think that's why. I think she had a reason that she sent Gregory over in particular to make sure that he collected her lanyard. I know that Abbott is low on funds, right? But Ava knew what she was doing. I'm sorry. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah, Ava sent Gregory because Gregory's probably the most likely person to go over there and make an emotional connection with Janine and then drag her back on the low. Then Ava can still maintain her, oh, well, Janine, I really didn't want you back. But also, I'm happy to have you back. I think there might be a little bit of that to there. Because over these 2 episodes, we see Ava essentially get rid of Janine, try to replace Janine. What did you think about Janine's replacement? This was very fun to me because this person had to be the opposite of Janine in every way. And Ava trying to narrow down the candidates, really, that killed me. It destroyed me. I was laughing so hard.
When I tell you I hollered at Jelly Bean Belt, right?
Yes.
Like, oh my God.
Because why do you have one of those? But also, Janine,
Why
where
would
did you
you
buy
admit
this and
it?
why does this person exactly? Why are you sharing that?
I know. Like, why was this public information? You could have just said, nope, not happening. You saw the process, sir. So he was not qualified for this position, but you know, he could have kept that his business. So I thought it was funny that she essentially just picked an Ava 2.0. But I think again, I don't think Ava was ever really planning on losing Janine. I think she wanted Janine to come back, though she'll never admit it. And she did the correct thing here with making sure that Janine came back.
Yeah. And Janine is back just in time for 2 Ava 2 Fest. Prior to this, we see that Melissa and Barbara have gotten on Jacob's bad side. Jacob, he has his I don't know I don't want to call it a newsletter. Is it a newsletter, Gia? He sends out his emails.
He has very detailed emails. And correspondences, I will say. And they can be quite wordy. Apparently, they're like weekly too, apparently. This is not like a monthly affair. You know, this is a regular correspondence.
Yeah, and the district has new software that will blow the lid off of what Barbara and Melissa have been getting away with, because the district has AI software now. You know, put the paper in the system, make sure that the kids aren't cheating, aren't plagiarizing, and we see that in real education as well. That it's very much like Turnitin is one of those programs where you turn it in and immediately it tells you how much of it has been plagiarized, how much of it, is a direct copy and paste, how much of it is paraphrased from certain websites. Basically, it's like the answer to Chat GPT, so it's like if this is something that the students did not do, you'll know about it. And it turns out that Melissa and Barbara have not responded to any of Jacob's correspondence organically. Every last one of them. I'm talking about 99% accurate, 100% accurate AI produced emails. And so he's mad at the Autobots and Decepticons in the school right now. I thought that line was so funny because I was like, well, he's got a point. These robots are really driving him crazy.
Listen, I get it. AI is the bane of my existence right now. It's just so I shouldn't have to argue with students about why they need to write their own work, but I digress. But as somebody with very limited time, like Turnitin is a lifesaver. And yeah, so, it happens, but also at the same time, like, I don't like reading really long email. I get a lot of emails, right? So I can't be reading like short stories from people on a regular basis. So I can definitely understand Barbara and Melissa's side to this, because why are you sending me all these emails? You can come to me like we work in the same building. You can come to me and say, Jacob lives with Melissa now. He can share his thoughts in person. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Bad. This is bad, Jacob. Especially because Jacob has been completely dismissing Mr. Johnson's emails. And
now
if this
is a newsletter.
First of all, if this is an Ava Coleman Stan podcast, this is a Mr. Johnson Stan podcast first and foremost, okay? We're here to take a bullet from Mr. Johnson. He sends me an email. I'm reading it. I'm highlighting it. I might frame it and put it on the wall. Jacob has not been responding to this newsletter about the spring cleaning, and it only happens ever so often. It's not the same as Jacob's weekly emails that are long and lengthy, and Mr. Johnson can tell a story like none other, because all the rest of the teachers are like, why would I use AI for that? This is Mr. Johnson we're talking about. Yeah, let's not be disrespectful, Jacob.
Finally, he is getting some praise, right? Because I was a little tired of people shitting on Mr. Johnson lately, right? Like,
it's been a tough season for him, for sure.
He's been through a lot, more than anyone else in this season. Don't let anybody tell you differently.
I mean, he's expecting 3-paragraph replies to his commentary for each paragraph of the newsletter, and it does sound daunting. But again, Mr. Johnson only distributes his newsletters quarterly, and according to Barbara, they contain delightful anecdotes and musings. Okay, so it's not a hard read. This is actually the best read on the campus. And so eventually Jacob can kind of see Mr. Johnson's point, and he apologizes for writing it off. And he also apologizes to Barbara and Melissa, promising to cut back on some of those emails. And so this is a great episode for Mr. Johnson, a trying episode for Jacob, but I think he got the gist of it, right? Like, you can't force everybody to do all this reading and responding, and then you don't even have the same type of energy, especially when it's somebody like Mr. Johnson. If you don't have that energy toward Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry, I can't trust you.
Right? Like, Jacob was doing well for a while. He was, he had some really strong episodes and moments in this season, but the moment you disrespect Mr. Johnson, snatch that Emmy right out of your hands.
Yeah.
Jacob.
So the kids in this episode were so entertaining to me. I love the opening of the episode 9 where the kids are playing the hand games, but it's like the the Gen Z social justice warrior hand games. I thought for a second we were losing recipes because they didn't know, the old staples, the Miss Mary Max and the Down by the Rivers and all that stuff. But their hand game, not the catchiest, but I kind of liked it. You know what I'm saying? Turn that up.
It got a little beat to it. It's got a little rhythm, It's like, okay,
yeah,
this was good.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
Mm-hmm. I've seen these lyrics in the comments of on Reddit or something like that. It's like very much like, hey, we have these social issues that we want to highlight. It's like, it feels like a TikToker made this, you know what I'm saying? Which makes sense because this is that kind of that generation of this is all information we got from TikTok. We put it in a hand game.
It was also, I think, I could be wrong, but one of the child stars in next episode, in episode 10, is a TikTok, is like a child influencer.
Oh no, that's episode 9 too. Yeah. So
it was episode. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Jabria, are you smart? She showed up, and that's we talked about it before. Abby got money. Abby got Jabria money now, and that's where I was like, okay, we rich.
Yeah, they got money. Right?
Mm-hmm,
because where are they getting? I do miss the staff, right? Like the staff members. We got some of the lunch crew back for episode 10, which I was very happy about. And I miss the whole staff being together, and I was very happy that we finally got to see a little bit more of them, because the lunch crew, I just love all of them so much.
Yes, I do too. In the second episode, we definitely get the lunch crew, and they're in Hell's Kitchen mode. They're really into Too Ava Too Fast. I love just them whisking around. I love a competition food show, and I know you do too.
Oh my god, yeah. So it was. Oh my god, I gotta tell you. Okay, real quick sidebar. Do you know Eric from Top Chef? He has a show on the Food Network now.
Go on.
Yes, called Wild Card Kitchen. It is a combination of like betting and chefs making dishes, and a lot of them are Top Chef guest stars. My mother showed it to me, and I was like, I know him. I'll let you know. Oh, we'll talk more about it later, but it's very good. So if you're a Food Network person, watch Wild Card Kitchen.
Is it new? Like I
no, it's new. Like, it's only got 6 episodes now, I think, or something.
Ooh.
And I learned about it 2 weeks ago. This is very new. Yeah, this was not even 2 weeks ago. This is my first week watching it in full. So yeah, it was an experience. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Maybe we need to do a highlight here on Recap Kickback, and maybe just do a premiere.
Ooh, okay. I have some thoughts, but yes, we will. Yes, okay, yes, absolutely. So we but have you seen The Bear?
I've seen The Bear, yes.
Yes, so that was what this opening scene in Abbott reminded me of. It's very The Bear. As someone that has worked in a kitchen before, it is so stressful back there. I'm so glad not to be a chef like the individuals that are included in this scene, but it was incredible acting on all rounds. And then, of course, what else would happen besides them testing food for Mr. Johnson to be tasting to see if it's good enough for AvaFest?
Right. And of course, Mr. Johnson is the only judge who I would trust. Like Mr. Johnson and maybe Gordon Ramsay, but like in that order. You know what I'm saying? Like Mr.
Only
Johnson
those
first.
two. Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, this was hilarious. Love the opening because everybody's prepping for Two Ava Two Fest. As we know, that's essentially Abbott's open house last season. Last time we had Jasmine Sullivan we didn't have Jasmine Sullivan, but we could have. I like this episode a lot, Gia, but let me tell you, they playing in Ava's face because if Ava tells you Questlove is coming, and she tells you they're best friends, they met at Allen Iverson's party, all this stuff, you believe Ava Coleman. Now, I didn't like how they were acting like she was unreliable, which sure she has been in the past, maybe. It's debatable, but moving forward, give Ava her things because Ava dated Andre Iguodala. You know what I'm saying? She knows famous people. Don't play with her.
I know. I don't know why this was a surprise. Like, just because
Right.
she's lied before does not mean she is going to lie again. And may I remind you, she lied for the school. This was just not for her own benefit to say that Jasmine Sullivan was coming. And now they might have Jasmine Sullivan money. So, like,
yes, we can afford that now. We got
I know.
Questlove money.
I know. We do have Questlove money. Spoiler alert again for this episode, but Questlove does in fact come.
He comes. I'm like, what? And not only does he come, he knows Ava. He calls her Honest Ava, which again makes sense to me.
I mean, like Honest Abe, Abraham Lincoln, Honest Ava, two of the most influential figures in Black history, I would say, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Like it adds up.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, Questlove being here again just highlights again how much money Abbott really has these days. But it is the I guess the cherry on top of the Two Ava Two Fest because throughout the episode, people are doubtful of Ava. She tells Jacob, "Hey, go get on Canva, make a flyer, let everybody know that Questlove is coming." And throughout, they're trying to undermine Ava, trying to make sure that Ava feels trying to make sure that Ava knows that we know you're lying. We don't respect this. Why are you acting like this? They go behind her back and then they say, okay, well, we'll release our own flyer. And Ava is rightfully offended because not only does she know Questlove, they're old friends. He talked to Allen Iverson about her recently. So although the parents think they're being lured here by what did they say? What was it? I think he said, "Don't lure us here with well-respected R&B and rap artists." Well, guess what? Welcome to your well-respected rap artist. It's Questlove, ladies and gentlemen. So I think that Ava Two Fest has to happen every season, or if not every other season. This needs to be a staple.
I do. So, like, again, I think we both have agreed that Abbott Elementary is like The Office, but better. So. Like how, sorry if that offends you, but also I don't care. And
why are you here?
Yeah, exactly. Like you are on the wrong podcast. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
But like, how The Office always had a Christmas episode or like a Halloween episode, and they had like different ones every season. I think we need a annual, or a seasonal, I should say, Ava Fest episode. I think that is like only makes sense, and it just becomes like bigger and grander, and like a different well-respected R&B artist is welcomed every time, and it just gets more grand with each season. Before, like they essentially produce like the series finale, I assume will be Ava Fest in like Coachella, like standard. Yes.
No, that's perfect because now again, we got money now. So sure, maybe, just maybe we were led astray about Jasmine Sullivan. We have it like that now. Like now we got money, and also Abbott got clout. This is an award-winning show. So I feel like if I'm a celebrity or a well-respected R&B or rap artist, I'm gonna be falling over myself to get included in Abbott Elementary. There was a moment where I really thought we were going to hear Barbara's Church Choir sing Angel by Amanda Perez, and I got way too excited because I was thinking, how did we get here, Abbott? But I'm not complaining about it. This is great. I think Ava Two Fest is becoming huge. I think that everybody's enjoying it. And now that she's established that Questlove could potentially be there, the sky's the limit, Gia.
Oh my God. I think like definitely like I don't think every show can really pull off like the same bit like recurring throughout the series. But I think this episode did prove that like what was originally kind of like treated like a joke for Ava Fest as like a way to convince the parents to not make Abbott a charter school could be something that is turned into a regular tradition, and also something that is like fun for the viewers too. So, and it's a great opportunity to again see some of the talent that we don't see every episode, like the lunch crew, like see all of the staff working together. We start to learn a little bit more about some of the other teachers at Abbott like last season. So I'm really enjoying it.
Yes. And Ava has said on record, she wants to make this better. She wants to make this bigger. She wants to make it unhinged as opposed to hinged, as Melissa suggests. I normally agree with Melissa, but she's dead ass wrong. This is my energy, okay? Make things unhinged. Let us have a good time here, because this is work, y'all. Abbott Elementary, this is where these people go for work. Let them have a little fun. You know, let the kids loosen up a little bit, bring in mega stars, keep this party going. I like this.
Oh, me too. Me too. I think this is a perfect example of like a Abbott tradition, a tradition in general that just like brings out some great moments. And we had some very funny parents again, which is always a great time.
Yeah, these parents need a bigger storyline. Again, like you were saying about the lunch lady, and then some of the other staff members. These parents are very, very good. The comedic timing is always there. They pop up at the right moments, and so I really love seeing them. But yeah, this is the episode where we do get Janine's exit, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about how they get Janine back. You know, she's going through her dip. Her library program was successful. We know Gregory's still trying to get his grant thing going for his garden, but when he goes to the district, he drops off some of Janine's things, and he even gives Janine some dirt from Abbott, because she says, "I miss the dirt." When someone tells you they miss the dirt at a place, they really miss that place, Gia.
I don't think I've ever said I've missed the dirt anywhere. Like,
Not
I don't love. Do I love exactly? But like, do I love anything as much as Janine loves Abbott? I don't know.
No, you do not.
I don't know yet. However, you know, maybe those daiquiris we had at New Orleans were pretty good. So, you know, I might reconsider that. I was telling my friend the other day about how when we went, there was just so many chicken and daiquiri places that were there. And then I had to explain it was not chicken, and daiquiri places. They are a single restaurant called Chicken and Daiquiri. Which is the only two things I wanted going into New Orleans. So it just like all my needs were met there. I think that is, I miss the New Orleans dirt, I guess is what I'm saying. So miss the sidewalk that I got this huge ass bruise on my knee. The uneven sidewalk. That was home. Yes. But yes, I think that, like, you know, we've seen for a while, Janine, she's enjoyed the district almost because, like, she feels like she needs to. Like, she was good at the district, but even getting her there took a lot of convincing. And I think at the end of the day, even though, again, there has been some debate about whether this was a good move for Janine or not, I like how they played into it at the end with her decision to decide to go back to Abbott, because there's a reason she got involved in the career that she did.
Yeah. She loves teaching. You know, they try to incentivize Janine to stay, talking about, oh, well, have you seen our health benefits? You really need to elect into something like that. Your 401k, you know, you need to do that. But all this, like, they give her a new computer, but all that stuff feels like permanence to Janine. You can tell that anything that's going to cause her to form a root or to plant any roots here and at the district, she's avoiding. You know, she looks like she's getting overwhelmed at the very idea that they gave her a parking spot. She said, "I'll just walk." You know, she even at one point tells the lie. Yeah, I can see Abbott from here, from my office window. No, you cannot. Stop it. No, you cannot, ma'am. Seek help. And so Janine loves it. She loves her job. She loves the kids. She loves the teaching part. And this is something that I really relate to as an educator, because in education, the higher up you go, the further you move away from the kids. Like, you know, like, as a teacher, you pretty much can, like, affect the students' lives daily. You know, you see them daily, you interact with them daily, they get to know you, you build that bond, they go on to do great things, and you feel very warm and fuzzy about it later on. But, you know, when you start to move up, let's say you go up to vice principal, you see probably less students at that point. Then you move up to principal, and you're essentially the managing person over the school. You're dealing with a lot of the teachers at that point, a lot of the educators. So at that point, your day-to-day is probably with other administrators and other teachers, and you might see a couple students every now and then. Janine has moved to the district. There are no students at the district, and Janine is a very student-driven teacher. Like, she's very much about like the personal connections, about helping these students on a one-on-one basis, and this just doesn't jive with what we know about Janine. So it was only a matter of time from my point of view before she went back. There was no world where she was going to sign this away. But I think 10 episodes in, that's a pretty decent run for Janine to try something new. But it's definitely time for her to come back, Gia.
Yeah, and I think because we're getting a shortened season this year, because of the writer's strike, that this was the correct season to put this storyline in with the district, because we had a couple episodes around it. It's done. We're moving on to other things now. Janine is officially back at Abbott, but they did try something new. So we got to see a little bit more, learn a little bit more about Janine and some of the other staff members, and I'm happy for that. But I'm glad that she is back at Abbott, and we're gonna return to more of a sense of normalcy, I will say.
Yeah, I missed it. I wonder what the effect is going to be now that she's back, though. Does this upset the new balance at Abbott, right? Because we see that Melissa and Jacob are a thing now. The Gregory and Jacob are now a lot closer too now. I feel like, and then Melissa and Barbara have always been close. I feel like Janine now has to kind of figure out where she sits at this lunch table now. Who is her person? Because we know the will they, won't they with Gregory was strong at one point, but by this episode, there's almost none of that. So where do we go from here, Gia? I guess is what I'm asking you.
I think that this will encourage Janine to be a little more independent, which I think is good, because she could be a little clingy with some of the other teachers and really focused in her identity as being an Abbott Elementary teacher. We saw that on several episodes in seasons 1 and 2, where she had difficulty separating her personal life from her professional life. But I think that this will give her some time to maybe relax a little bit, be a little more mature, and also hopefully be able to branch out and be a little more independent. But I also, Jacob was so happy to have Janine back. So yeah, Gregory and him are getting a lot closer. I think that they are maybe not even begrudgingly as much anymore best friends, but I think that Jacob is always going to have a special place in his heart for Janine, and he was so happy to see her back. And that was one of the things that I love to see, because I am just like Jacob. When my work friends leave to get other jobs, like, am I happy for them? No, not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Nope. Am I happy they are getting more opportunities and making more money and have better opportunities for themselves? No, because you need to be miserable here with me. You need to be be commiserating with me. That is your role. That is part of your job description.
Right.
So when they have decided to come back, I am so happy. It was just really nice to see Jacob just get really excited. He was vouching for Janine all season. Every opportunity he did, he got an opportunity. Every opportunity he had, he wanted to make sure that people were appreciating Janine. He stood up for her even when she wasn't there, and he was so sad when she was leaving permanently. So now that she is back, Jacob's a real one. He was so happy to have her back, and I forgave him a little bit for disrespecting Mr. Johnson in the episode. Not fully forgiven. He's still on probation, but this moment made up for it.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see the crew back together. We love Janine. We love the way the Abbott Elementary cast, they just kind of just fit. There's not one person where I would say this person doesn't fit in with the group. We don't need them. We need all of these players around. We definitely don't need Janine away from Abbott, but for drama purposes and for good TV, we do have to come to what is our next milestone for Abbott? We've done the legendary schools. We've done now the district. I think we kind of have to go revisit the conversation about Gregory and Janine at this point. I think that is the loose end that we haven't tied up. Gia, you and I have famously said we need them together, but not definitely right now. We need them to kind of live. We want Janine to, hold forward a little bit, do her thing. But has enough time passed? Like, is it time? We're 3 seasons in, Gia. Why is this couple not together? Do we need to wait a little bit longer?
Listen, now I go back and forth with this because the will they, won't they, eventually it just gets to all right, like, cut the bullshit. I need it to be they will right now, right this moment.
Right now.
And I think I love Janine and Gregory. I love Janine and Gregory together. They're great. They are so cute. We get so many cute moments that just like, I want to shake the stupid out of Gregory and just turn him in Janine's direction and be like, there, like, that is your person. Deal with it. Whatever he was doing in episode 1 of season 3, where he put a period on it, bullshit. Absolutely not. I refuse to accept that as like the end of that storyline. And they were so cute in season 2, right? Like so cute. Even when they were going back and forth about really stupid stuff. I just really need them together. So I'm getting a little impatient. And we still, like, even if they do get together soon, it's going to be like, they're going to have to go through the dating experiences. Like, I don't feel like it is necessarily like so many things have to change or, oh, like there's so, like that storyline is just completely over once they get together. I think there's so much that they can explore with them as a couple, like as they're dating and things like that. So if not by the end of season 3, definitely season 4, right? Because in my mind, Abbott goes on for at least 10 seasons.
Yeah, 10 is short, but I'll concede. Right?
At least 10 is the minimum, right? 10 is the minimum, but like I'm thinking like 15, 20 seasons, but as a respectable amount. I'm thinking like Survivor level where we're talking about like Abbott Elementary 50, like what stars are they bringing in?
What kids have come back to the school to teach? Yeah, I need all that.
Yes. So that's the goal. But for right now, them getting together in season 4 is like the maximum of what I can take, right? Like any later than that, and I'm going to be a little mad.
Yeah, it's time. For me, it's time. It's time. Because you're right. They have to go through all the growing pains. Like, this is why, we try not to bring up The Office too much, but that's like Jim and Pam are so boring together. Janine and Gregory are going to be so messy. Just they're going to overthink things. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to hide it from the other teachers for a while for whatever reason, as if everybody's not going to already know that kind of thing. But that's the kind of stuff that, give us that. But also, come on, hurry up, because we got this short season for Abbott season 3 due to the writer's strike. We don't know how many more seasons of Abbott we got. We know we got season 4 coming. Obviously, once they see season 4, then we're going to get season 5. But once we hit season 10 or 11, I'm going to need like several years of these people have been together, maybe like a child or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the relationship that I'm invested in the most. I think right now it's time to start to rip the Band-Aid off and give us the will they, won't they that we deserve. Give us the relationship between Janine and Gregory. I think we've made it this far. I think it's time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think we have gotten to a point where, we have seen a lot of the, like the slow pace, slow burn, getting together phase. We have seen a lot we've seen Janine decide she doesn't want it to turn serious. We've seen Gregory decide he doesn't want it to turn serious. We both know they're full of shit. Now we need to move on. Jacob is like holding it down for us right now, trying to do everything in his power to make them both see the light. So, I think it's time that we go in another direction. Janine has been gone for so long. She's back now. Let's pick up the pace a little bit.
Yep. I agree. I'm happy to have her back. And now we get to see what happens next. So, Gia, is there anything we missed from these 2 episodes?
Let me, what was it? I feel like, nope, I think that was it. We missed, just everyone was great. I loved seeing the collaboration on these 2 episodes, and I'm really excited to talk about episodes 11 and 12.
Exactly. Look, we're on to the next episodes. I'm looking right now at the episode guide for Abbott Elementary season 3. This is episode 9 and 10. We have Double Date and Mother's Day coming soon. Obviously, Mother's Day hasn't dropped yet, but once it does, we'll have a podcast coming your way to cover those 2 episodes. And then episode 13 and 14 are called Smith Playground and Party. And I don't know what to expect from any of those, but I'm very excited to see, because Double Date, to me, I haven't watched that episode yet, but I'm wondering, okay, who's dating? And then Mother's Day, are we going to get Janine's mom? Because, that was drama in and of itself. You mentioned the bear earlier, but we could get Janine's sister back. I have so many questions about Mother's Day. Gia, this is going to be fun.
I am very excited for this.
Yeah.
So, like, Mother's Day in particular, like, we know Barbara's a mom, but nobody else. She is a mother that mothers.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, nobody else in Abbott is currently a maternal figure, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
We have plenty of mothers. So I am very interested to see how this goes. Are we going to get something with Barbara? I saw her. I know we've already met her daughter. But she's mentioned before that she has more than one child. So maybe we could meet some more of her kids, or maybe we'll see a return of Taraji. I haven't seen any like clips, any like teaser trailers about the episode. I don't even know if we have like a summary of it yet, but I am very excited to see what comes up from Mother's Day. I'm sure it will be a great one.
Me too. And so in the meantime, check out all the other content we have here on Recap Kickback and keep up with what Gia has going on. Gia, what you been working on lately?
Oh my God, what have I been working on lately? So you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Classically Gia for all of my reality TV shenanigans. On Silent Podcast, I am recapping Survivor 46 as well as Top Chef season 21. On my podcast, I Don't Know About That, which is our Survivor coverage, and Quick Fire Queens, which is our Top Chef 21 coverage. Both fantastic seasons so far. Oh my God, I could go on forever about Survivor 46, so I'm not going to right here. And recently, I should say first that definitely look up our weekly roundups of Survivor 46 on Inside Survivor that I write with my good friend Christine Palin. But for Survivor fans, Survivor 50 has recently been announced to be confirmed as a season with returning players. Now, what exactly that means and what that's going to look like, we don't know. However, we're going to do a lot of speculating, and we're going to have a lot of, I will say requests, but really demands about players that I would like to see on Survivor 50. And Inside Survivor will be having some articles published by me in the off season that highlight some of the players that I want to see return. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, can't wait. And then other news here for Recap Kickback. Almost to the minute, y'all. Shout out to our co-host with the most, Mari Forth, and Lil Mari Jr. is now alive. The baby's here, y'all. So Mari's gonna be on maternity leave, but we did it. Recap Kickback's first baby. We got one. So shout out to Mari, and shout out to baby Jayla. If you made it this far, throw Mari some congratulations in the comments or something like that, because I'm so happy for my girl. But until she comes back, I'll be holding it down by myself with all of my amazing co-hosts. As y'all know, we had the recent amazing podcast I did with the Was It Good Though pod people. They came on to talk about the Drake and Kendrick Lamar diss. So if you haven't heard any of the beef stuff, or you're not caught up on the beef, come check it out. I'm telling you, it's great. It's right here on Recap Kickback. Shout out to Jazz and Jason for helping me with that. And go, shoot a subscribe or a like on the Was It Good Though podcast to give them their flowers for coming to help us out here on recapkickback.com. Also, you can catch me and Latanya as we discuss the movie Challengers with Zendaya. That will be dropping in your podcast feed this Thursday. Of course, Gia and I will be back next week to review more Abbott coverage. Sasha and I are giving you Summer House Martha's Vineyard coverage as we are coming up on the finale of that. So we got a lot of stuff going on here at Recap Kickback. But in order to keep up with all of that stuff, of course, go to recapkickback.com/subscribe. If you have any feedback, leave it in our comments or email it to me at recapkickback@gmail.com. That's recapkickback@gmail.com. And if you want to let us know what else you want us to cover here, because we're almost done with Abbott for a little bit. And so we'll have to find another place to put Gia to work. And so until then, for Gia and for me and for the rest of Recap Kickback and to little baby Mari, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. We'll talk to you all next time. Bye.
Bye.